Hi, Mike. Don't know where Ube's run off to.
Well, find us.
Here he is. Nah, here he is. So we will, we're going to go and sit on the stage together.
Mike, while we're waiting for those two, as always, to sort themselves out, can you hear me?
It's a lot of product is pending.
Here comes Chef.
Mike, can you
Hello,
unmute
bag.
yourself?
Chef.
Can you unmute yourself?
We're going to go and sit on the stage.
Yeah, we can
Gonna
see
go and
you,
sit on the
Mike, but
stage,
we
Chef.
can't
Good
hear
idea.
you yet.
Sitting is good idea.
Chef says sitting is a good idea.
Yeah.
Is
You
that
all
better?
guys
Can you hear me
need
now?
to-
Hey, Mike Lee.
Hi, nice to
Hi,
see you
Mike.
all. Hi, Joanna, you okay?
Yes.
Nice to see you. Now that the legends are all together, I just wanted to say hello to my dear friends. How you doing, Mike?
Fine.
And I'm going to leave you guys to all catch up because this is a very special gathering. But I just wanted to say it's a pleasure to see you.
And you as well.
All right, you take care.
You as well.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I believe they sent you a list of questions that we were going to ask you.
Yes, it did.
Chairman.
Well, do you know what I'm going to do with that list of questions?
Yeah, I thought you might.
Now, I've invited Uwe and Andy to join us. So they're stood there nicely in the sun with their hats on. Mike, you started the Emirates Culinary Guild with a few other legendary figures down here. One or two of them, sadly, are no longer with us. But did you ever feel in those days when we were starting it all off, it will get to what it is today?
No, not at all. When we first started, it was to obviously start the competitions. And then after that, we wanted to, without Alan's participation or in pushing, to try and involve the younger chefs more in the development. But it's only when we became members of the World Association of Chefs, I think, that it started to spread out a little bit more. And I hate to say it, after I left. So the combination of Andy, Alan, and Uwe really was a good, great team. They really pushed it.
Still trying to get a mic on Andy. Andy, can you hear us?
I was at
Okay.
ICCA.
We're going live now.
Hello.
We're just trying to get some sound through. Hey, Mike, as you can see, I'm still chairman and the president's still at my feet.
Tell you what, sitting up there, you look like a pair of bandits.
They are a pair of bandits.
Look at us with our hats, yeah. So the chairman's in charge of the president, as it should be, but the past president for life is in charge. How are you, mate?
I'm fine.
Sitting in France and enjoying.
At the moment, the weather's lovely. My boss is just upstairs, but she's coming down in a minute. But otherwise, we're fine, yeah.
Jean's upstairs, he says.
So I see the competition's been going very well. Congratulations to all involved. Been watching. I've been learning how to make roll-up sandwiches with chicken and bacon.
US chicken, mate. US
Yeah,
chicken.
US
Sorry,
chicken.
US chicken and US turkey bacon.
How you been, Mike?
We're fine. Nothing much happening here. It's quiet. We're in the middle of nowhere, so there's not much chance of catching anything. And a couple of weeks ago, we had our first vaccine, and then we'll be getting our next one next week.
Good man. Good to hear you both well. Yeah, so we're out here. This is the 24th running of the Emirates Salon Culinaire, Mike. And as Padgy alluded to, you started it all. how do you think?
I'm still struggling.
How do you think it's developed?
Oh, it's really come on in leaps and bounds. When we first started, it was only to obviously make the first competition. And then with Alan on board, we started to push out for to try and include the junior chefs more. In fact, the first year after the first competition, we had the Chefs Junior Championship in Dubai, which was held at the Wafi Center. And it's sort of gone on since then. And I think it really opened when we became part of the World Association of Chefs. And of course, when Uwe took over. So when I left, Uwe, Andy, yourself, and Alan did great things, and it's really expanded. And I must admit, I'm impressed with everything I see each year. And this virtual competition, excellent. Really, really good.
You know, we had good starting blocks, you know.
Yeah, I've still got the marks on the back of my neck, but not to worry.
Oh dear, mate. I don't know. I would have never thought we'd be sitting here in 2021 talking about things that you developed back in the early 90s, 1991, and then the first exhibition and competition was in 91, if I remember correct,
Yeah,
and then 93, and then every 2 years.
yeah.
Yeah, and I remember when we did the first Young Chef competition, which Mike just mentioned, and our first ever winner was a lady.
Yeah, she was, and she went on to represent the guild in South Africa in the Uncle Ben's Challenge, which they won. With,
Yeah, she came back with African Cup.
I forgot his name now. One of the Sri Lankan cooks with her. And then she left Dubai, and she became a TV personality in Spain, doing cooking shows.
Good for her. No, and that's I think that's why we do it. I mean, when we hear stories like that, that's what sums up why we do the Emirates Culinary Guild, why we do competitions like this. It's the opportunities that it gives. Chef.
Yeah, I think if we move the camera around and see the talent here, which we have around us, when you see the last, Mike, if you've seen the last 4 days, the quality of work, what we had in terms of the first 2 days, in terms of show. I mean, we had on one day, we had 4 gold with distinction, and not given by local judges, given by the top judges of the World Association. I mean, so the quality is pretty amazing what we have here. I think today we had about 20 gold medals almost. So.
I mean, they're not being generous with the gold medals. They're being impressed by the quality of what the young guys are turning out. You know, we've got some guys that are turning out the gold medals on their first time out the gate. We've seen guys win a gold medal that the last time they won a merit. So it's great to see these young guys progressing. It's great to see these young guys developing themselves. And you know, it's just a wonderful thing when you see the shiny bits of metal come out. It's really good. I mean, if you have a quick look over there to your right, to my left, they're laying out all the gold medals, and these are just the medals that we've issued in 2 days. Now, if we remember, I mean, the first competition, you had how many competitors, Mike? About 60 or 80?
Not many, no, the first time round.
And then a couple of years ago, we had over 1,000.
60, yeah.
Yeah, and then we had about 1,000. And then we started bringing international teams and everything. So in 2 days, we've had just over 4 days, sorry, because the first 2 days were at Uwe's hotel in the Radisson Blu Dubai Deera Creek in the ballroom where we did all the static. Then we came down to the gardens here at Jumeirah Creekside, did 2 days of the practical. We had over 300 entries and over 200 individual competitors. So it was really, even in these challenging times, the enthusiasm's still there. And we're just glad that we were able to give that little light at the end of the tunnel, Mike.
Well,
Yeah, and we we hope that the chefs of and GMs of hotels who are not with us, who didn't allow their guys to be with us, we hope they see what we're doing, and we're doing it in a very safe environment. So we hope the next time around that we will have them back with us again.
Hey, backdrop.
So
Hold on to the backdrop. The wind's picked up. Martin,
So
backdrop's falling down.
it's actually very pleasant with the wind, but it's good for the backdrop. But for us sitting here, the little wind is very, very pleasant. No, to come back to I hope that that a lot of guys seeing what we're actually doing, and that we pick up and go back to our old numbers next time. But yeah, we had an amazing 4 days. I'm very happy that we are getting very close to the finishing line. But yeah, amazing 4 days, right, Andy?
It's been a fantastic 4 days, and if you just zoom in on these blue boxes, Kutsi, open a couple of those, and these boxes will remind you, Mike. Bring them out, put them on display, mate. We still use the same dowel for the trophies, Mike. Yeah. The first ones that you and Al put together.
So we are pretty traditional. We have quite a lot of things which we stick to, which we kept over the years. And as we say, never change a winning team, right?
And that's the thing, you know, don't fix it if it's not broken.
Beautiful.
Can you hear us, Mike?
Yeah.
I've got someone interfering.
Yeah. No,
I can hear you, Chef.
Yeah. No, I'm impressed with what I've seen. I've been following the competition day by day, and I saw some of the first exhibits, which were excellent. The showpieces and the petit fours. Can you hear me?
Yeah, the distinction.
Yeah.
I'm just manoeuvring. The chairman's always in action, mate. So I'm telling him how to set up the trophies. You can never stop. Got to teach the young ones, Mike. Like you talk me and Chef Uwe. We have to teach the young ones, mate. Can't be doing this all our life. We have to come and join you in France and eat some good cheese. A little bit Boudin Blanc.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Whenever you want, you're always welcome.
We're getting closer to it. We'll be very soon. Don't worry.
What's your message to the young chefs, mate?
Well,
What do you say to our young guys watching?
I think they should all have. Well, I'm sure they've all got ambition. They should see the competitions. They should see what you're producing and learn from that. And from that, they should try and repeat the same things. Try to make the dishes. Consult with the chefs and fellow chefs, and keep trying. And if they don't win the first time, well, you know, that's experience, and they're going to, I'm sure, win something further down the line. And it's a win-win. It's a win-win thing. You know, they can only win in the end. It's a lot of stress, but I wish them all the very best. And it improves their life as well. And
Thanks, mate. That's important as well. That last statement, it improves their life. And that's what we need to think as senior leaders in the industry, that these young lives are in our hands as well to help them develop, right?
I've seen a lot of the younger chefs, which were in the first competitions, and now have executive positions in the States, in the Caribbean, even in Europe, some of them. So great, you know, good things if you try.
Very true, mate. Yeah, we had in the early days, there was you, there was our old mate Alan Tong, and unfortunately Alan left us in 2015. Mike Wunsch, who sadly passed in 2019, but it's so good to have so many of the original people still with us, like Pedji, Peter DeCowa, you know, Tarek is still hanging in there. A couple of the guys have left, you know, we're all getting on a bit, so we're hitting the retirement age. Maybe. Oops, sorry, chef. I pulled your ear off.
No, as my wife always says, I have funny ears, so they always fell out.
But some of the guys that we worked with in the beginning with Chef Paul Allard, you know, there was good old Gavin Duthie as well, Ronan McCarthy, all these names, you know, we tried to remember them as well, because they were, you guys set the foundation, and we'll be forever grateful. And the legacy that you guys started, and then what we're able to be continuing with, and we just hope that it's going to push through when it's our time to hand over.
From what I've seen, there's a lot of young chefs coming up from Dubai that seem to be, you know, I think they'll be ready to take over eventually when it comes.
Hang on a minute, Mike. Can you guys shut up? Thank you. There we go.
Your training bit, Andy.
Yeah, I tell you, mate. I missed the vice president of shouting. You're sat there all smug in a studio. Another warning letter coming, chef.
You see, the problem is when I started to replace Alan, when I started to shout, the wife said, "Why are you shouting?" So then I had to be quiet again.
But yeah, Mike, we thank you for your time today. We thank you for everything you did for us and what you set up all those years ago, that we're very proud to be carrying that legacy on, mate.
And as I said, it's not too long until we come to see you in France.
Okay, well, welcome anytime.
Hey, you hear the young guys in the back? They're making a lot of noise now. So you see, we're getting close to the finishing line now.
We've got our medals ready. We've got our trophies on display. We've got our certificates. Madam's getting a couple of certificates ready. Hold up one of those plates for Chef Mike. No, the plates. The plates, not the boat, mate. The round bit. That's it. They're a lovely plate. We'll get one of those sent over to you, Mike.
Okay, lovely.
Alan.
Yeah.
Back to the studio.
Thank you very much, guys. And I'll see you in the garden a bit later. Mike, wonderful to have you on. And what you call it is that the guys have said, where we are now is because of what you, Mike, Alan Tong, a few others I can name, Errol, JD, Cole Dorfner, all memories, Paul, all of them. But you were the one who said, let's do it, guys. And here we are today, going to the world, in fact, instead from the back table of a pub.
Yes.
You remember those days down in Poncho Villas?
I remember. And I remember going down with Alan to Peter de Cowes to Abu Dhabi to try and rustle up a little bit of support down there. We used to always stop off at the club to have a snack on the way into Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. Mike, all the best to you. You know, whenever you can get down here, when we start live competitions again, we will invite you again, just because we want to see you.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Anyhow, my congratulations for a great competition. I have been following it every day, and fabulous. With the restrictions there are about, amazing. So all I can say is I look forward to seeing you whenever the circumstances permit, and hope you will be able to relax a little bit after today.
I've been very relaxed. You know what I'm normally like? I've had the best 4 days I've had with on a salon. I haven't had to shout at anyone.
Yeah.
And I've had cups of tea served.
Well deserved, mate.
Yeah. But guys, thank you very much. I think now I'm handing over to Joe.
I think, first of all, I'd like to thank Alan for being my co-host here in the studio.
And yourself.
With pleasure. And also to Shanaz and Sanjay and the team at ICCA Dubai, because without ICCA Live, we wouldn't have been able to share what's gone on for the last 4 days with the rest of the world. The chefs are determined, amazing group of people and would have run their salon no matter what. But for Expoculinaire Live and to be able to share this with a much wider audience is very much thanks to not only equipment and dedication, but the talent that exists here at ICCA Dubai. So I really wanted to say a huge thank you to our streaming partner. You've been much more than a streaming partner. And I tell you what, tomorrow I'll get in my car and drive here on autopilot, since this has felt like a new home for me. But again, I'm, you know, as someone who organizes events, as someone who has had very little to do in the last year, it is great to be back with in the family. It's great to be back in a jacket. And we have got huge plans for 2022, not only because the World Congress is coming to the UAE, but because we know that the UAE is going to bounce back in a very strong way. Many thanks to you all.